and welcome to Goodnight Mare. Today we're going to be talking nouns. I know that this is a giant undertaking, so we are going to split English into sections, and a lot of families have been asking me to help them with diagramming sentences or help them with certain aspects of teaching English, especially because lots of the parents who are homeschoolers live overseas but would like to teach their students English using specific curriculums, whatever that curriculum is. Today I've done a little outline, so we're going to start here and then we will progress through the different parts of speech, different functions of speech, and diagramming sentences. So let's start with nouns. Nouns are persons, places, or things. They can be singular, plural, or possessive. Types of nouns: proper and common. Proper nouns signify something specific and usually start with a capital letter, while common nouns are more general and start with a lowercase letter. Nouns have many places in a sentence. They serve many functions in the parts of speech that we speak. So they can be the subject of a sentence, they can be a subjective complement, they can be the direct object, the direct address, the possessive, or an object of a preposition. These are all functions of nouns. Now that you've kind of seen the overview of what we're going to do, I'm going to break it down into specifics. So let's go ahead and talk about nouns as a person, place, or thing. Person, place, or thing. Literally everything that you see or can touch is a noun. Plain and simple. Even things you can't see. The air, a noun. The sky, a noun. The walls, a noun. China cabinet, noun. Sweater, noun. Hair, noun. Those are all common nouns. Proper nouns signify a specific person, place, or thing. So, mare. Say your name, that's a proper noun. The place where you live, United States of America, that's a noun. The name of the street where you live, that's a proper noun. Let's see, George Washington, specific person, proper noun. Specific place, Alaska. The specific area name where you live is a noun. Specific things. The Holy Grail. Noun. Proper. What else can be a proper noun? Think hard. Think about all of the things that you see and touch every day. The metro system in your town is a noun. The name of that metro system is a proper noun. Very, very simple. So there are very generalized common nouns and then very specific proper nouns. And that's a great way to have a game with your children, is to play the alphabet game. Say, who can name a common noun? And go just around the circle in an alphabet order and say a common noun or say a proper noun in alphabetical order. It's really fun. Categories, great game for this, okay? So in general, I just wanted to give you a small idea on nouns, but I will be breaking down nouns specifically in this video. So here we have our nouns broken down a little bit for you, and I'm going to show you that we can have nouns that are common or proper. A noun will always be a person, place, or thing. So here we have some examples of common nouns like man, woman, people, house, park, places, things, dog, book. Very common nouns. They're not giving a specific idea as to which individual item you're talking about. But then when we get to proper nouns, you'll notice that my topics are capitalized. So when you have a proper noun, you have capitalization and it tells a specific person, place, or thing. So here we have Doctor Who, Mr. What, Jesus, the Statue of Liberty, the White House, Bethlehem. These are all proper nouns. They give you a very specific, you know exactly what we're talking about when we say these names, because it's very, very specified. Those are proper nouns. Proper nouns are different from common nouns in two ways. They tell you a specific thing and they will always be capitalized. Hi. Okay, so now we're going to talk about nouns and their numbers. Numbers are just one of the qualities that nouns possess. So when I say numbers, I mean the actual word will tell us if there's one or if there are more than one. For example, the singular word noun, boy, plural, more than one, is boys. The singular place, park, if we have more than one park, we have parks. And then same with things. So if we have one dog, it's singular. But if we have many dogs, it's plural. Plural tells us there is more than one of those items. Most of the time with nouns, all we're going to do is add an S to the end, like in these examples. But sometimes we have some really weird words. English is hard. If the word ends in S, or X, or CH, the ch sound, or the sh sound, we're going to add ES. Some examples of those words would be church. So for church, our plural would be churches. So we're going to add that ES to the end. If we had the singular word dish, because it ends in that SH sound, we will add ES. Same thing with fox. I saw one fox. I saw many foxes in the neighborhood. So these are all examples of that type of a word changing from a singular to a plural. Also, we could say mass. We had one mass today at our church, but on the weekends, there are many masses. So it's very important to know the rules for when you change plurals. It helps with our spelling. It helps the reader to understand if we mean just one thing or if we mean many things. So again, singular, one thing, still a noun. Plural, more than one thing. And there are some irregular nouns that we'll go over in a few moments. But for right now, look this over and make sure you know that when you have S, X, the ch or the sh sound at the end of a word, you will always add ES to make it a plural or to show that there are more than one. Okay, so we just talked about some plurals and singulars of nouns and how by adding S we can tell if there's one or more. However, there are some words that are irregular. We also talked about the rule for adding ES. When your word ends in S, X, ch, or sh sounds, you add the ES to the end to make it plural. Here are some exceptions because English is hard. So why not make it a little bit more difficult, right? Just kidding. These are just some rules that we have to remember and they will help us when we write our sentences. Singular forms of some nouns have different forms as a plural. Like we say one child, but many children. One tooth, but all your teeth. One man, but many men. One mouse, but many mice. One ox, but two oxen to pull that cart. 1 foot. Can you stand on 1 foot? Or maybe you need to stand on both of your feet. Feet would be the plural. 1 woman and many women. These show us that there is only one of that person, place, or thing. These signify there are more than one. These are called irregular nouns because they don't really follow any rule in the English language. Sometimes it's going to be hard and we're just going to have to remember the rules, but it will all in all make us better rememberers and better writers when it comes to writing our complete sentences and diagramming. Now, remember that regular nouns, you can most of the time just add S, but these are irregular, so there's a little bit of a change. Okay, here we go to our last section. So for our last part, we're going to talk about how nouns can be used in a sentence. This I'm going to go over very quickly, only because we haven't begun diagramming our sentences yet. So I'm just going to show you where nouns could be in a potential sentence. This way you understand where they can be used as parts of speech. So in our first sentence, the noun maple is the subject. Maple barks. That's a sentence. Who is doing the barking? Maple. Maple is a noun. In the second sentence, it shows an example of a direct object. She chased the squirrel. What did she chase? The squirrel. A squirrel is a noun. It also is a direct object. In our last sentence, you'll see its use as a subjective complement. Maple is a dog. Did you gather that from the first two sentences? Maple is a dog. Dog tells us what maple is. This is a tricky sentence structure to learn, but you will get it, I promise. You're very smart. But we're gonna talk about the word dog. Dog is a noun. This sentence shows where it is a subjective complement. These are all nouns. There are other nouns on this whiteboard as well, such as maple again in this sentence. But for right now, I just wanted to show you the parts of speech. Okay, so these are the last three examples for uses of noun in a sentence. The first one is a direct address. That means we're directly talking to someone specific. In this example, it says, Mary, please set the table. We're directly talking to Mary. Mary is a proper noun. It is someone's name. So there's our first example of that type of a noun in a sentence. The next one is a possessive noun. Our example here is, that is Dad's chair. Dad's is the possessive noun in this sentence. It tells us whose chair. It answers that question. So here's an object of a preposition as an example. Michael is the tallest in the class. This phrase, in the class, is a prepositional phrase. This word, class, is a noun. It is the object of the preposition in. We'll get more in depth in each of these subjects about the uses of a noun in a sentence. But for right now, I just wanted to show you an example so that you can understand there are many uses for nouns in the English language. And it is very good to make yourself familiar with common, proper, singular, plural. The irregular forms of these nouns when you make them plural, some of them have special rules. So again, if you need more help, please comment in the section below. I'd be more than happy to help out anybody who needs the extra attention. But for right now, good night.